This passage is an excerpt from a historical text titled, Definition of the Term Negro. The author provides an etymological and logical argument challenging the rigid racial classification of the era. The term Ethiopian is derived from the Hebrew tongue, and it signifies swarthy, dark-colored. And though it is generally applied to a native or inhabitant of Ethiopia, in Africa, yet it should be remembered that the term sometimes is used in connection with the Ethiopians in Asia. This fact is known to all historians and archaeologists, and the word simply means dark-colored or swarthy, and nothing else. As the Hebrew tongue is the admitted common parent of all other languages, it is easy for anyone who is a linguist to trace the term Negro in them to the original stock. The term Negro or black does not force any black man into any particular race as a member thereof, since there are black Jews in Loango, black Arabs, who are descendants of Shem, black Hindoos, who sprang from Japheth, and black Hamites, who descended from Ham, and therefore black cannot be regarded logically and scientifically as the dividing line between the races. And again, since the term Negro does not refer to features and physiognomy, but only to complexion, the term Negro, cannot be used properly to establish racial lines on features and physiognomy, except such a truth could be deduced from that word. And this no wise and far-seeing linguist will attempt, without damage to his reputation as such. The term is incapable of bearing such a construction. Pride, arrogance, ignorance and prejudice on the part of many authors, linguists, naturalists and archaeologists have given the present twisted, distorted and incorrect meaning to this term, and there is no better time than now to correct this terrible evil that has come down to us through centuries, deceiving so many people, even scholars of some magnitude. Those who have from foolish pride painted the Negro very ugly because of the blackness of his complexion, have committed quite a blunder, as they will shortly learn from this book. Winterbottom says of the tribes of Timanu and Lusu Negroes, in the mountainous districts of Sierra Leone, the sloping contracted forehead, small eyes, depressed nose, thick lips, and projecting jaws with which the African is usually caricatured are by no means constant traits. On the contrary, every gradation of countenance may be met with, from the disgusting picture too commonly drawn of them, to the finest set of European features. Tuckey says the same of the Jolloffs or Olafs, Meredith of the Fantis, Adams and Bowditch of the Ashantis, the Dahomies, and the Negroes of the banks of the river Chambia. They have good features, neither broad nor flat noses, nor thick lips. The Mandingos on the banks of the river Gambia, Joliba, the higher Senegal and Niger, as also the Faulas or Falas, and Falatas in the interior of Africa, in Bandu, Timbuktu, Hausan, Sudan, Borno and Kashwa, vary but little, according to Mungo Park, Denham and Clapperton, excepting in color, from the Europeans. Their skin is not so black as that of the Negroes on the coast of Guinea, and their black hair is not so woolly, but long, soft and silky. They have neither broad nor flat noses, thick lips nor prominent cheekbones, sloping contracted foreheads, nor a skull compressed from both sides, which most naturalists consider as the universal characteristics of a Negro. Most of them have well-formed skulls, long faces, handsome, even Roman or aquiline noses, thin lips and agreeable features. The negresses of these nations are as finely formed as the men, and are, with the exception of their color, as handsome as European women. Arrogance can never become the standard by which racial lines are to be established. This, however, as a fact, is only known to learned men. Ignorance is blind and insensible to all the light surrounding it, and can hardly be responsible for what it says or does. Prejudice is an inhuman master, who often forces his slaves to commit all kinds of depredations without the hope of future reward, except that reward be the remorse of conscience in both this and the life to come. This is the age in which the descendants of Ham must recommence their glorious record in the Republic of Science, Arts and Literature a century later, and the tide of fortune upon which to move will be forever gone, and the golden rays of a magnificent opportunity will cease to fall upon the checkered scenes of an eventful life. Since I have established the fact in the above proposition that the term Negro or black cannot form the dividing line between the races, I must now turn my attention to a solution of the situation that such a position has forced upon me. Swarthy or black people who inhabit the greater part of Africa, or their descendants elsewhere, are, according to Webster, known as the Negro race. This position, however, is admitted, but not on scientific principles, nor on the grounds of logical reasoning. The only real ground of acceptance, so far as this grave question is concerned, lies in the mere convenience of the term, as all good scholars are bound to admit. To go one step beyond this truth is to land in a bed of chaff, and to attempt a position that can never be sustained. With this planation, I am ready to extend the remarks on the subject in hand. It is charged that the features, characteristics, figure and color of the Negro species are perpetuated in every climate, and that it does not undergo a peculiar change as long as it is not mixed with any other races. Blackness of skin is not necessarily characteristic of the Hamitic branch of the human family. If such is not the case, what argument can be set up concerning the black Shemites in the person of the black Jews in Loango, Africa, and the Japhites in the person of the black Hindoos and the Moors of Spain? If I am logically and scientifically wrong on this grave question, I would be gladly corrected by a reasonable argument from anyone who will assume the task. It is generally conceded that the skin of the Hamites is soft and oily. If so, this is an important admission, as every eminent physician knows. God has provided the human skin with two indispensable glands, the perspiratory and the sebaceous. By means of the former, at least 100 grains of effete nitrogenous matter that would be injurious to health are thrown off. It should not be forgotten that the very same perspiration serves to regulate the heat on the surface of the body. Whenever this excretion is checked or arrested, it throws additional labor on the kidneys, and often proves fatal to health and life. By means of the latter, a peculiar fatty substance is excreted from the skin, which tends to prevent the skin from becoming dry and crack by the influence of the sun and air. If Mr. Colin's remarks on the skin prove anything at all, they prove that God, who is the creator of the human race, has made wonderful provision in this particular for the dark-colored races of mankind, in that